Lisa, are you ready if I start the meeting now?
I am. We're ready to go.
Great. People want to turn their cameras on. I think we are getting close to a quorum. So in the meantime, if you can post thank you, you're reading my mind. For the public, we are having virtual meetings still. Here's information to join this meeting. If you want to give public comment, you can go to the city website and get onto these links. Additionally, we have other options. If you want to give comment, you can always call the city council and leave a voicemail. That phone number is 552-6012, and you can always email city council. The email address is council@ci.missoula.mt.us. So there's a lot of different options to reach your city councilors and to give public comment. Thank you. And if you could do a roll call vote, Lisa.
I certainly can. Let's see. Okay. Stacy Anderson.
Present.
Martha Becerra.
I see her joining the meeting right now, actually. Ms. Becerra is.
Excellent. John Contos. John looks like he's out today. Heather Harp. Heather's here.
She is here.
Excellent. Jordan Hess.
Present.
Gwen Jones.
Present.
Julie Merritt.
Present.
Jesse Ramos.
He is gone.
All right. Amber Sherrill.
Present.
Sandra Vasica.
She is gone.
On today. Brian Losberg.
He is gone.
And Heidi West.
He is not yet in the meeting. We'll see if she comes.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you. And with the addition of Ms. Becerra, we have a quorum. Thank you, Merta, for coming. We have minutes from the February 24th, 2021 meeting. Were there any changes to those minutes? Seeing none, those will stand approved. And I believe that Ms. West just joined the meeting also.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? I see someone in the waiting room, but their hand is not raised. So I believe there is no public comment on items not on the agenda. Okay, so the first item is 3.1, an appointment to the Public Art Committee. I don't believe the mayor is here to introduce his nomination to the Public Art Committee, but I will note that it is Greg Twigg, who was one of the people that we interviewed several weeks ago when we had to do a council nomination to the Public Art Committee. Mr. Twigg is a professor of art at the University of Montana, so you should remember some of that interview and have a sense of what we're doing today. Ms. Sherrill.
I just wanted to go ahead, if this is the appropriate time, and make the recommended motion. I thought he was an excellent candidate, and I said in our appointments, I think I said why I thought so, but I'm glad to see that he will be a mayoral appointment.
Great, thank you. That motion is in order. Is there any public comment on the motion? Seeing no public comment, are there any other questions or comments from council? Seeing none, I'll just comment that I would echo what Ms. Sherrill said. I thought Mr. Twigg was a really strong candidate, and I think he will bring his expertise in art to the art committee, and that will be a really good thing. All right, given that, we will have a roll call vote on this motion.
Stacy Anderson.
Yes.
Martha Becerra.
Yes.
Heather Harp.
Yes.
Jordan Hess.
Yes.
Gwen Jones.
Yes.
Julie Merritt.
Yes.
Amber Sherrill.
Yes.
And Heidi West.
Yes.
So that's unanimous.
Thank you, and that can go into the consent agenda. The next item is 3.2, resolution for second quarter FY 2021 budget amendments. And we have Ms. Lee Griffin here to present on this. Hello, Lee.
Hello, I will share my screen. Today we have a motion to set a public hearing. And then once we have that public hearing, we'll have a motion to adopt or deny these budget amendments. These are the second quarter, but the third budget amendments that I have brought to City Council. And for some reason I cannot, there we go. These are pretty standard housekeeping budget amendments that we're bringing to City Council today. Most of this has been before City Council, but I will run through them quickly. From an accounting standpoint, we are creating the actual accounting fund for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. This was funded in the FY21 budget adoption on August 31st, but we're creating the actual fund and transferring all of the activities over into that fund. So the budget needs to be amended to show those expenses in the fund and the transfer revenue into that fund from the general fund. With stormwater, we are doing a bit of a true up where we have some FY20 project carry forwards that we're bringing. And we're also taking out, there was a net number in the FY21 capital outlay line that wasn't reflecting what projects the utility actually wants to accomplish this year. And so that's netting their expenditures to about $150,000. We will be doing some financing for this utility coming up later in the spring. For the police, the Catlin facility was discussed during the budget process, but it was not approved, and we've subsequently secured the funding. That's an MRA contribution. And then for parks, we're reflecting the CLM mini track loader. This is coming from the CLM levy that had already been levied as part of the FY21 budget process. Excuse me. But now the budget expenditure needs to be added to the budget. It's $36,000. We have some budget carry forwards. These are items, and usually they are contracts that were entered into and approved in the prior year's budget, but didn't get accomplished. And so now they're going to be able to complete them. We're bringing them forward into the FY21 budget. For planning, it's a development regulation review and Mullen area master plan. Those are coming out of fund balance. Engineering is updating their construction assessment software. That's also coming out of the some fund balance in the road district. Engineering has a standards and specification manual that was discussed all the way back in FY19 and is moving forward. That is being paid for by contributions from the 3 utilities. And the 3 utilities are absorbing that expenditure within their existing operating budgets, but the expense you see is the transfer over to that road district fund. There's an engineering contract with WGM. They had some vacancy savings in this fund last year that they wanted to bring forward as fund balance as a source. And then we had a couple of items for cemetery, street repair and chip seal, and pet memorial and ossuary. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, that they would like to complete in FY21. The last item we have on this exhibit are budget transfers. These are not items that City Council needs to approve, but we bring them forward in the interest of transparency. So if folks pull up a budget and they notice that there's a difference in a budget from the adopted budget, those are usually transfers. And it's a matter of just changing things between the appropriate accounting codes. So we always bring that forward to City Council with these budget amendments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lee. And I just wanted to note these documents were added on as attachments just this morning, so there wasn't a lot of time to look at those. But for this, what we're doing today is basically just setting a hearing. So if you do have questions that don't get answered today, please follow up with emails to Lee, and then we will be having the public hearing, of course. So there's also an opportunity there. And Lee, before I call on anyone, I did want to just clarify with our Affordable Housing Trust Fund. What we have carved out in our budget is $100,000 donation, contribution to that every year. But we had a $750,000 contribution this last year because we had monies come in from federal relief, et cetera, that we were able to position it that way. But just so that I'm clear, we don't have another $100,000 on top of the $750,000 this year. It's not 850,000. It's 750. That includes the 100 within it.
The 750,000 comes from the initial budget ask in the FY21 budget adoption on August 31st. And I'm sorry, I'm not recalling the $100,000 that might be.
Okay, I think that's our baseline every year is $100,000. If we can put more in, we do. So
Then yes, thank you. You're
answering
correct.
my own question, but just so that we are articulating this and everyone's understanding. So at a minimum, we'll do 100,000 every year. That's the way we've set it up. But when we're able to do more, we do more. So, okay, questions from anyone regarding this item? Okay, seeing no questions, I am looking for a motion to set the public hearing. Ms. Anderson.
I will make the recommended motion to set the public hearing.
Thank you. And I will call for public comment on this item. Seeing no hands raised for public comment. Any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, we will take a roll call vote.
Stacy Anderson,
Yes.
Mirtha Becerra,
Yes.
and I see John Contos is here.
Yes, and yes.
Thank you. Heather Harp.
Yeah.
Jordan Hess,
Yes.
Gwen Jones,
Yes.
Julie Merritt,
Yes.
Amber Sherrill,
Yes.
and Heidi West.
Yes.
So that's unanimous.
Thank you. That can go onto the consent agenda to get that public hearing set. I appreciate that. And our last item is 3.3 to change the letter of intent for the Scott Street lots. And I believe Dale Bickle is here to present on this.
Good afternoon. You snuck up on me.
We're
Dale
moving.
Bickle,
We're moving
Chief
fast
Information
today.
Officer. Yeah. Recently, council adopted a resolution and the letter of intent for the development of the Scott Street site, which is just north of our current public works facility. As part of that letter of intent, it required the developer to work with the city to conduct a conceptual design for the site in a public process. And that letter of intent required that the developer use Opticos as the planning and design firm related to that. However, hindsight being 2020, it does tie us to Opticos and prevents us the ability to use other local consultants and create a whole development team surrounding this. So this amendment to this letter of intent simply allows us to use other consultants for the project and not just Opticos. Developing the design team is a developer-led process, and Rivara is working on that now. They are conducting interviews of various firms, and they are intending to issue an RFP for a design consultant or consultants, and so that's the path we are on now. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Ms. Merritt.
I'd be happy to make the recommended motion and like to speak to it just briefly.
Go ahead.
I did think that it was a little odd when we were first presented with this agreement that we had specified Opticos as a kind of third party. They were not going to be signatory to the agreement, and that they were specified in there. That said, I also know that they are a very well respected firm, and should they end up being part of this project, we will get, I have no doubt, a very good product from that. So I'm supportive of this change and look forward to seeing what comes of it. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. That motion is in order. I'm going to take questions before we go to public comment. Ms. West.
I just had a general comment, not a question. I think it's a good amendment. I think that this project is very unique and offers the potential for a lot of multi-use development. And I think that is an expertise that we want to develop in our community, so that maybe this is something that becomes more naturally occurring, we'll say, in other projects. So fostering this expertise locally, I think, is really important to our community.
Thank you, Ms. West. And I just wanted to add my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Bickle, is that part of the reason for specifying Opticos is just because they're very forward thinking. But what I'm hearing is we still want to take that intent and that culture, but just maybe have more flexibility in how we approach it to build the team that will do this project.
That's exactly right. We are looking to be able to do housing types at scale that haven't been. The housing types that have been done is a little bit not at a scale that we were talking about here. So having expertise of somebody who's done that is really helpful. However, there's a bunch of other items in that. On the Schedule A of that list, like surveying and everything, that doesn't necessarily have to be under the Opticos. Under an Opticos contract. So this just gives us the flexibility to create the team that we need in various ways.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, the motion is in order. I will call for public comment. Not seeing anyone's hand raised for public comment. I always try and say that slowly so it gives people time, but I'm not seeing any hands. So we will go. Any other comments from council? Seeing none, we will do a roll call vote.
All right, Stacy Anderson,
Yes.
Mirtha Becerra,
Yes.
John Contos,
Yes.
Heather Harp,
Yes.
Jordan Hess,
Yes.
Gwen Jones,
Yes.
Julie Merritt,
Yes.
Amber Sherrill,
Yes.
Heidi West.
Yes.
That was a unanimous vote.
Thank you. So that will go onto the consent agenda. And thank you, everyone. Have a good lunch hour. We'll see you back for the next meeting at, I believe it's 1:15. And we will stand adjourned. Thank you.